Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining this webinar today. My name is Angelo Gargaro, and I'm the Director of Student Conduct in the Office of Student Affairs. My role here today is simply to facilitate and moderate this webinar that's dedicated to really talking about the Foundations for Success program that is really overseen by the Center for Student Success. Some of you may have already been in a previous webinar with us, looking at the different majors around campus, talking about specifics there. And we recently had a webinar talking about different support services that the Center for Student Success offers, from tutoring, accessibility services, and student intervention. So if you've been here with us before, welcome back. If you're new to one of these webinars, thank you so much for joining. I want to just go over some very quick housekeeping rules of how these things work so that we can dive into all of this. So basically, today I have a panel. Here we have Molly McClellan, who's the AVP, the Assistant Vice President of Academic Affairs, and Cathy Houghton, who is the Success Coordinator for a couple different programs. I have lost track at this point, Cathy, so I'll let you give that in your explanation. And also somebody who is tightly involved with the Foundations program. So Molly and Cathy are going to share some information about the Center for Student Success, about the Foundations for Success program. And then the really big portion of this is going to be an open Q&A where all of you can ask us any questions that you have, whether it's about the Foundations for Success program. Maybe you have some questions about Pioneer Experience orientation coming up. Maybe you have some questions about what the Center for Student Success can do for you, your schedule. All of that is fair game today. So just to let everybody know, your cameras are automatically turned off and you're automatically on mute. So don't worry about any noise that might be going on in the background. It will not be coming through to us. If you have any questions, and I hope that you do, you can start asking those questions right now by going into the control panel that should be on your screen, clicking on the questions tab, and just ask whatever questions you have. They will go directly to me, and I will just broadly put them out to our panelists here to answer. We won't be saying any names, so hopefully you feel comfortable asking away. So with that, we're going to start things off with just some information, and I'm very happy to introduce you all to Molly McClellan. Molly, how's it going?
Hey everyone, I'm Molly, and you can always just call me Molly. I like that best. I'm the AVP of Academic Affairs, and my home, and hopefully yours, is the Center for Student Success. So you've already should have heard from us in a number of ways. Obviously, the purpose of tonight is to talk about the Foundations program and clear up any questions that you have. But you'll hear from the Center for Student Success for things like your schedule and registration and navigating those sorts of systems. You might also have heard from the Center for Student Success if there's a motorcycle going by my house. You might also hear from the have heard from the Center for Student Success if you're someone who is receiving accommodations or who has received accommodations in high school and is getting associated with services provided by our office. So there are a number of different processes and services that are provided, and that's really at the heart of what Foundations will show you. So the Center for Student Success is responsible for your academic progress and making sure that we work together along with the departments to make sure that you're in the right classes at the right time. As I said, we're also here to help you if you need us to help you to have more access in your class, to remove barriers to your ability to be successful, and you would work with Cole in the accessibility office. And also, we have a really amazing tutoring center that is home to peer tutors, professional tutors, adjunct faculty members who are here in person and remotely to be able to support you, whether it's early in the semester or, if you just happen to know that the test is tomorrow and you're pretty scared about it, we can be there for you as well. So lots of really amazing resources. The best part about Foundations is that we're going to give you an introduction to all of those spaces. So it will demystify and destigmatize all that we do, and I hope it will leave you with the feeling that you're in the right place and you know who your people are, and you know where to go if you ever find yourself in a place where you have a question. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Cathy, who will give you even more detail about the Foundations program. So here you are, Cathy.
Thanks, Molly. My name's Cathy Houghton. I'm coordinating the Foundations program. I do work in the Center for Student Success, advising majors in literary culture and society and education, and exploratory majors. So you may have heard from me one way or the other, in a bunch of different ways. Talking about the Foundations program specifically, as you all know, it's we start on the 14th, we end on the 22nd, and it's a program intended, as Molly said, to get you comfortable with the start of your first semester and first year here at Point Park. And the idea behind the program is that it's supposed to both enhance and improve and introduce you to some skills that you're going to need in the college classroom. So the program is broken into 4 components. There's a college survival skills segment that Molly teaches. I teach a section called reading, writing, listening in college. There's quantitative study skills, which will be taught by Leslie Frank. And then there's a section for the library where the reference librarians teach. So we'll have, like, you'll be going through 4 different classes, and they'll be delivered in different ways. Some will be all in person, some will be online, some will be hybrid. So you're going to get a taste of all the different ways you might experience the classroom. One of the things I'd want to mention at this particular point, and if anybody wants to interrupt, Angelo, if a question flies in where you think we should answer it, please stop me. Just to reiterate, we started the 14th, we go through the 22nd, and then you'll segue into freshman orientation with the rest of the incoming freshmen. If you are living on campus, you can move in on the 12th, and you should be in contact with housing about your move-in, and they will tell you about what move-in will look like for you. If you have not yet done so, you need to return to me the food service agreement for the summer. It's a link. I've sent it probably 6 different times in an email, and it's just a very short form where you tell us, you click a button. Yes, I am living on campus and I need food service. I'm commuting during the summer and I need food service, or I need no food service. So if you want to eat when you get here, which before your regular contract starts, you need to turn that into me. I'm just kidding. We'll make sure you eat. But that will help me on the upfront get everything in place for you, so it's a smooth transition. So I'm looking forward to getting some of those contracts back. It's basically just one little box you check. That's important. The other thing that you want to make sure you do before you get here is upload the stuff for your ID. So if you upload the information to get your student ID, and that was in the mailings that I sent to you, there's a link to do that. So some of those things you want to make sure you do. Going now more into the classroom stuff, there is an assignment that you will complete before you get here, where you need to buy a book. This is the book, show and tell. This, I believe, and there's an assignment to do, and that will be for my section of the class. So make sure that you do that, bring that stuff with you.
Hey, Cathy, real quick, let me jump in. So
Sure.
somebody did ask a question about the essays that I think is pertinent to bring up right now. One of the questions was, with the essays we had to write, is there an email to send them to? Is it your email, Cathy, or somewhere else?
You don't have to do anything with them till you come. I asked that you bring them in print and that you have them available electronically, like save them to a flash drive, save them to the cloud, save them in your own email, and then I'll direct you for where you should put them when you get here. So just make sure you've done them. I'm not reading anything till it starts. Once we start, then we'll get going.
Fair enough.
But as far as the overview, that's everything I can think of that's really important in terms of getting started.
Awesome.
Um,
All right, so that is what we're looking to do up front here is just give you some general information and then to open this up so that we can start answering some of your questions. So some have already popped into the questions area and we're going to start tackling those. But let me just remind everybody again, just go into the control panel under questions. Please submit your question. You can ask as many as you want in really any area of the university and we'll try our best to answer them. If not, we'll direct you to the right people to do so. A couple other things as well. I've been adding different emails and websites into the chat area, like Cathy's email, Molly's, the link to the Center for Student Success, the link to the ID Center. So go check those things out. And you all should also see under the handouts tab, I've uploaded 3 documents. I believe some of these may have been the documents Cathy was referring to earlier. So if you need those, they're readily available for you now. And please make sure you get back everything that is needed before foundation starts. So with that, let's dive into the Q&A. I really like this first question. I think that this is going to be a great way to really show the value and impact of Foundations for Success. So the question was, how has the Foundations program benefited incoming students in the past? I'll leave it to either one of you.
I'll let Molly take this one. She's got more stats.
Oh, okay. So this program has had such a long history in the CSS and at Point Park, and so I think that it does a number of things, right? Like I said, I used the word demystify earlier. I think that so much about being successful in college is really about your willingness to ask questions, which is your comfortability. There's a comfortability level that comes with that, and the way that you approach, like you're using resources, right? So like there's a ton of things that are available to you to support all elements of yourself, whether it's your social life, whether it's your academic life, whether it's your physical health, your mental health. We have resources for those. The challenge for us always is in getting students to come and use the resources. And so what's really special about Foundations is that we bring that to you. It's a soft introduction. You'll see us as, really fun and caring and warm human beings who know a lot about the way that the university works and who are connected to a lot of other people that help across the university. And so tapping into that network is critical to student success. And Foundations lets you do that. It's almost like I took my son to the middle school so he could find his locker, and I knew once he found his locker in 6th grade, like the rest of it was going to be okay. He just needed to be in front of his locker. He needed to figure out how to use his lock, and then the rest of it seemed possible. That's kind of how Foundations will feel. It's like you get an opportunity to just be here, meet some people that will remain your friends. It's wonderful to still see individuals who come into the program together continue to support one another through graduation. But certainly, the being on campus early and asking questions and getting to know people with personal introductions is what it's about.
And I'm going to leap in there with something, if I could add something to that. One of the things, and I would be frightened to tell all of you how long I've actually been working in one way or another with Foundations, a long time. So I've seen a lot of students go through Foundations. And I think it's such a great opportunity. But one of the things in the classroom setting, in the short classes you'll be taking, is one of the things you'll do is a lot of self-reflection. What have I done before, and how has that worked out, and what can I do going forward? Change is hard, and not everything needs to be changed, right? You might have some really great strategies, but there might be some things that you decide, okay, now, no, I'm really going to do this. I'm going to get a tutor for my writing class, or I'm going to get a math tutor, or I'm going to, go to bed earlier because I realize I just can't function. So one of the things I think Foundations can do in just that short time that we're with you before the semester starts, is give you a little bit of insight into, how you're going to function in this new academic setting, and how you can maximize what you've got going for you that's really working, and how you can tap into some things that are maybe new for you. And again, we want you to see us as your allies and as the people you can count on to kind of help you, navigate this first year, and hopefully every year after, we'll be here to help. So that's kind of what I would want to say in terms of how this program can help.
Awesome. Thank you both for that. And I just want to echo the value of the Foundations program and the value of the different resources in the Center for Student Success. I mean, we already talked about the far-reaching areas that they touch. They truly are a nucleus of information and support on the campus. So get ready to lean hard into them. They're good friends of mine, and I'm sure that they'll become friends to all of you as well. This next question is for the foundation classes. Are we getting our schedule once we move in? This individual said that they're not sure of that particular element. Now, I'm assuming that they are. It does seem that they're specifically talking about the foundation schedule and not their fall 2023 schedule. So what say you, friends?
I can talk about day one and what day one will, okay, I'm unmuted. I can talk about what day one will look like. So we will get together and commiserate over bagels and donuts, and just make some quick introductions. I do an orientation on the first day. So at that orientation, you receive a packet of information that's going to give you your schedule. You'll be divided into groups, and then you'll kind of learn the flow and where you need to be from that point on. And you rotate through. So the first day after you meet with me, you're gonna meet a lot of you're gonna be introduced to the systems that we rely on. So you're gonna learn how the elements of our learning management system, which is called Canvas. So it's those sorts of foundational knowledge and skills and platforms that you're going to need throughout your career at Point Park. That's kind of what we front load on day one. Those are also the places that you'll go within the Foundations program, and then after you start your classes, to access your course information, to engage in an online course, to be able to visit with your faculty member remotely. So we want to make sure that you understand all the ways that we're networked, and the language and the systems that we use, because it's going to feel for a second, and fortunately you get to have this feeling before classes start. It's like you're getting dropped off in a foreign land with a whole set of processes, customs, cultures, language that are going to feel really unfamiliar. But in the same way that you became adept and mastered that, and learned how to do your combination in front of your locker in 6th grade, so too will you find your way here. So the first day is really about getting connected to the platforms and the systems that we use, and then we kind of build from there.
Awesome. And kind of in a similar vein, another question is, what should foundation students expect on move-in day? And I'm asking this because I must have missed this as I was listening. Move-in day is separate from the first day that you were just talking about, right? So can you explain just what they can expect on move-in day then?
So everybody pulls into the student center lot, and it's like a swarm of locusts come, and you open your doors, and there's help to be able to get moved in. And so you can expect that, right? Like you can expect that, you can move in, you can get settled. I'll let you know, you'll stay in that room. So I know that's always a big question. It's like, I've done this god awful move. All of my life is now here, situated in the dorm room. I have my posters hung. Do I need to move? You don't need to move. So you'll stay where you are. You may have a roommate that's in the program. That's always nice. You may have someone that's coming to campus, and that move-in happens at the beginning of the second week that you're in the program. So yes, you'll show up, you'll pull into the student center lot, and there will be individuals who are there to show you the way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Molly. This next question, I know my fall semester classes have been chosen for me. Do you choose or make my schedule every semester? What's that look like?
No. The short answer is, after the first semester, you are free to schedule your own classes. What we will do around several weeks before registration begins for the spring, probably in sometime in late September, early October, you'll be getting lots of outreach from your student success coordinator. And coordinators are assigned according to major. And so your coordinator will be specific to your major. We will be sending you information. It'll be time to register. Here is your course sequence. That is a list of courses created by the faculty in the order that you're expected to take them, with a little, some give and take. You'll also get a copy of your degree requirement sheet. That's the list of courses required for your entire degree. And any other information that you need, we send out to you. You're more than welcome to make an appointment with your coordinator to work through your schedule, talk about your schedule. We're always happy to help. But after the first time, you have a lot more freedom to choose your own classes within the parameters that you're given, in terms of following your sequence, making sure that you're taking classes that are applicable to your degree. It is required for us to approve your schedule once you put it in the system. Once you register, you're actually registered for the classes, but you need your coordinator to go through and approve. If we see you doing something unusual, taking classes you shouldn't be in because you don't have a prereq, taking something that you're, for whatever reason, doesn't fit or seems weird to us, we will contact you and ask you, like, if you're sure you want to do that, or tell you you need to be doing whatever it is you need to be doing. So part of our role, as Molly mentioned in the beginning, is to keep you on track to graduation. You want to maximize, the courses you take. And there's plenty of room for you to make decisions and choices, and we're always happy to help. But you won't just get handed a schedule after your first semester, if that was the actual question. The simple answer is no.
Context is always nice, so thank you for providing that, Cathy. Speaking of classes, this is a common question that we get asked often, and it is about City University life, University 101. So in the past, Foundations for Success students took this class kind of as a cohort together. Is that still how you guys approach it? And can you explain also what the vision of University 101 is, and maybe specifically for Foundation students?
So you'll be with me, and it's a way for us to, build upon the foundation that we have started in Foundation. I walked right into that, but that it allows, for us to have continuity in our relationship. For you really, you get me as your guide, and I'm an open book for students in terms of, just how the university works and who the specific people are that you need to talk to and when those things need to happen. So it's a good way of us to kind of put a lot of the things that we learned over the summer into practice as you begin your first semester. So the way that University 101 is set up, you'll remain with a group of your peers from the Foundations program in those specific classes and sections. And that's because, there's already relationships there, and it's a good way for you to have a kind of a safe place to go with your stuff. The course is set up, there are a number of different modules that cover a whole range of things that are important for students in their first semester. So, success habits and study strategies, mental health, diversity. So there's just a whole wealth of information in that course about just how to navigate yourself, how to navigate the university community, and how to navigate the city. So, our students are coming from all over the place, and, just being here is sometimes a major adjustment for students. And so this is a way for us to also, introduce you to some of what makes living and studying in the city special. And, so I'll be your guide in being able to do that as well. So we'll take some walks, we get outside, we go see some things. And, but it's just a great way for you to have another avenue to ask and to get connected. So, I'll maintain that contact with you until, you feel ready to fly. In semester 2, when you don't need me anymore.
It's always bittersweet, but that's what we want here in higher education. So we love it. We love it. We got some great questions here. We're starting to hit the back end of the questions. So let me just remind everybody, you can ask as many as you want. Hopefully we are providing you the information that you're seeking, and great questions so far. So we're going to just keep moving this forward, but feel free
Angelo,
to add.
really quick, I did want to let everyone know that I put 2 links in the chat. They look really wonky, and so I'm sorry for that. But there are 2 surveys. You've also received those about 7,000 times. So one of the things that is I think of an introduction that needs to happen sooner than later. We use email. I know that seems like so boomer, and it's not what anyone does, but that's how we communicate, right? So we will send you information today, tomorrow, and always via email. And so it's important for you to start getting used to going into your email. So these 2 surveys, there's a freshman survey and a college student inventory survey. We use that information. It helps us to really understand who our students are, which helps us to understand how we can support them. And those 2 instruments are a good way for us to be able to kind of put some of those services in motion before you even get to campus. And we do go over the college student inventory on Tuesday. So if you could do that in advance of coming to campus, that would be super special.
Awesome.
I don't know what I put there though, but check your email, it's in there too.
The links look like they're working, so we should be good. They're in the chat there. If anybody's interested, we encourage you to go fill that out before you get on campus. The next 2 questions are going to revolve around some of the support services that the Center for Student Success offer. So the first one is, how can a student locate, find, acquire a tutor? I feel like there's a couple different ways to go about that. So what are some of those ways, friends?
Michael, I know you're in the ether, so I don't know if you want to chime in or if you want me to take this one for you.
I can chime in. I'm not on camera, people, because I have a patch on my eye. But for real. So I'm here. So if you want to, okay. So you'll become familiar with a program called Point Web. And in fact, I'll be presenting to you during Foundation. So I'll go over this with you during our half-hour session. I'll register you for tutoring services, and I'll teach you how to make an appointment. It's all student-based. Students make their appointments, and they can receive tutoring services, help from a tutor, either in person or online. In Point Web, under the Students tab, this might sound Greek to you, but there's a link that'll say tutoring, and that will take you right to the site where you register, and then you log in and you can make an appointment at the tutoring center or writing center. So it's really easy. We also have online writing inbox, and I'll show you how you can submit a paper for review to a writing consultant if you don't need to meet with that writing consultant in person or online. So there are a number of really easy options. It's easy to find us. We're on the 5th floor in West Penn, and that's where the CSS suite is located, and that's where your CSS coordinators are located. But I'll see you on, is it the 14th, Catherine?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll see you on the 14th, and we'll go over all of that. And I'll talk to you about academic coaching too, because if you're having problems with 1 or 2 courses, tutoring, if you have problems with writing any course, the Writing Center, if you are having issues globally with all your courses, we'll assess you and connect you with an academic coach who you would meet once a week to hone with, or known as your executive functioning skills, and also to help you with your coursework. So it's really easy. And you guys provide the pizza, and that, no, I'm just joking. It's really easy, and everybody there is very, yeah, peer tutors. I think Molly had mentioned this earlier. So you have students who've taken the courses, and maybe the professors you currently have, they have experience with them, so they'll know that in and out. You have professional tutors. You have some adjuncts who work there. Math for everybody is a hot topic. One of our great tutors in that is Paul Spiker, and he's an adjunct professor who should be a meditation expert too. His voice is just so soothing and he's so calming. Anyway, I'm rambling as I normally do, but I think I've answered that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael.
Okay.
And if I can't remember if I mentioned it, Michael is the director of tutoring services. So somebody you should definitely get familiar with. I think that there's a myriad of departments and support services across the campus. Some of the ones you really want to get, like, in my opinion, used to going to and acclimated to and introducing yourself to right out the gate. Obviously, like the Center for Student Success and everything within that, accessibility services, tutoring. There's a question about student intervention that we're going to talk about here in a second, but get ready to get acclimated with the Career Readiness Center that's on the 5th floor of West Penn, the Counseling Center that's on the 5th floor of Lawrence Hall, the Health Center that's on the 3rd floor of the Student Center, the Student Involvement area that's on the 1st floor of the Student Center. There's a ton. So definitely utilize these resources and these friends to feel supported throughout your time here. Now, with the question that I believe is surrounding student intervention, an individual is asking about what happens if a student's struggling in class or having a problem in a class, whether maybe the student themselves recognizes it or maybe somebody else in the Point Park community, like a faculty member, staff member. What does that look like? Molly, I'll toss that your way to kind of talk about how we support students that might be at risk in a class or things like that.
Yeah, so we have a wonderful individual who works on our team, Hannah Colbert, and she's the glove. So it's like this very, it's like a secret society. So we have an awesome website, a web platform that allows us to alert one another in a very, very compassionate, kind, and respectful way that protects you as the student, our number one goal. So it allows us to share when we're concerned. So it might be one of your faculty members, it might be somebody who works in financial aid. We're all connected to that system so that we can get students to the resource that can help them in whatever moment they're having. So Hannah is at the heart of that system and is the person who can help. The needs of students are holistic. It's not ever just like one thing. It's not like you're just bad at math. That's like rarely the thing. It's usually I'm having trouble in math, because I've received accommodations in high school and I don't have them and blah, blah, blah. So we're part of the unpacking of all of that and creating a web of resources that speaks to who you are and what your individual needs are, because everybody's look different and everybody comes to college in a very different place, especially, so close to the end of a pandemic that just disrupted all that you've done and all that we do, right? So So it's just the transition to college is not a clear one. You know, it's not always smooth. It's not always like the picture that you had in high school. But what I can say is that there are a lot of people here to just catch you and give you what it is that you need and help you to get through those moments, but also to help you just to gain a wisdom and a knowledge from on the other side of those moments that then you take with you for the rest of your life. So there are a lot of people there for when you bump your shins, or even when you screw up royally, or you think that there's like, this is the end. There's very few mistakes and very few missteps that are unfixable. So just know that and feel comfortable and confident in coming and just making the ask.
Awesome. This next question, I believe I can tackle it. I'll give Molly and Cathy a breather for a second. This is an easy one. Are you able to get a second ID if you're not satisfied with the current picture? First of all, when it comes to staff, it seems near impossible because I wish I could burn my picture, like literally burn it 3 times. But when it comes to students, it's a little bit easier. So your first ID card is going to be free. And anything after that, I believe, is a $25 fee. That language should be on the website that I linked earlier. So yeah, you're gonna have to pay for it. If that money's worth, updating the photo, then there should be a path to do that.
But I do, you might be able to do that before you come to campus. So I would reach out to the ID center. I think the issue is like once they print it out. But I do get, I think it's like after they print it out, and you lose it, then you get charged. But you may be able to change it now before the printing happens. I did want to let you know that I'll have those IDs for you. So on that first day when we meet together, I'll have your IDs. They're aware that you don't have them. Some of you may have them earlier. I think that with residents, they have them on move-in so that you can get in and out of the building. But I will certainly make sure to double check that and get a little bit more clarity out to you this week on the move-in situation. But from what I remember, the resident students are able to get those with your keys when you move in, because you need that to be able to get in and out of the building, especially on the weekend. And then the students who are joining us as commuters on Monday, I'll have all of that for you, or if you haven't moved in.
And that's a good point. I mean, about the IDs, if the ID center hasn't printed it, there may be a path for you to just ask for them to upload a different one. So definitely reach out to them and see. I've put their email into the chat as well, and they should be able to assist you with all of that. All right, let's dive. We've got a few more questions. We're at 6:45, so let me just kind of give like a 15-minute warning here. So if you have any other questions, I think there's about 2 or 3 left in the chat, so add them in and we'll definitely be able to get to them before we conclude. Something else to bear in mind, I know we've told you to check out different documents that I've uploaded and surveys that Molly has put into the chat. There's one other survey that will pop up automatically when this webinar ends. It's 3 questions, and it's really just to help give us some feedback on how we did today so that we can improve moving forward. We love doing these and engaging students before they get on campus, and it will allow you to ask us another question that maybe you didn't feel comfortable asking during the webinar. And if you do take that opportunity to ask the question in the survey, one of us here, myself or in the Center for Student Success, will reach out to you via email and provide a response. So definitely take these opportunities as they present themselves. Let's see. This isn't a foundations specific question, but when will we be able to access a schedule for Pioneer Experience? I believe that they don't get this information until they're there and moved in. They have a schedule and it's intentional, and there's a lot of fun things going on as well. But Molly, do you agree? Is it they acquire that once they get here, right?
They do. So but you'll get some different communications. Again, connecting to your email is an important thing. So the way that it works, the students who are in the conservatory, like there's kind of a rolling schedule for your move-in. So you follow that schedule, and then you'll also get information on that's specific to like your orientation. So when you check in for that, that's when they give you the whole schedule. I also try and troubleshoot and get that in hand during the time that we're together, because we'll have that whole first week prior to orientation and move-in starting for the remainder of the students. So I'll make sure to also have that in hand. One thing that I want to reassure you about is that we don't take you away from the orientations that are specific to your major. So in the conservatory, there are a few like different processes that you'll go through, placements, etc. You'll get information closer to the date about those specific elements. You don't miss any of that, because I know that feels stressful. Like, oh, I have this whole other course of things going on and I'm going to be behind and I'm going to be left out. All of you will attend the actual university orientation. If you miss some of what it is that we do at the tail end of the program, we just find a different way for you to be able to get us the information that we need. A lot of surveys and feedback. We like to know how you've experienced the program. So we make sure that we get all of that to you. But we want you to be with your tribe and making friends and learning about, what to expect in your major. It's really important. And so we send you on your way.
Awesome. Thank you, Molly. Let's keep going with a couple other questions here. There was a question about parking, which is a common one, and there's a myriad of answers that we can give when it comes to parking. I will tackle two of them, and then I know Molly is somebody who takes different ways to get onto campus. I think you're pretty creative on how to get here and stuff. So the first is that there's no like true, and there's a caveat, there's no like true student parking on campus. Now, there is the ability to get a parking pass, like permit, that you have to pay for, and my understanding, it's somewhat of a discounted rate. It's over in Station Square, which is where a lot of Point Park faculty, staff, students park. It's right across the Smithfield Bridge. In the summer, it's beautiful. In the winter, it's a little chilly. Wear a hat, cover the ears, especially if you got gauges. It gets cold. But so you can definitely get a parking permit. You go to the student life office on the 7th floor of the student center, and they get you all hooked up with that. So that's in terms of like actually parking a vehicle. There's also like some street parking that you could pay. There's some parking garages. The ones close to campus are pretty expensive. Street parking is pretty expensive. It is free at certain times, I think after 6 o'clock on weekdays, and on Saturdays. On Sunday and on holidays, it's free. Pay attention, look at the signs. Don't trust everything I'm saying. It can be different in different areas. But the other thing I want to mention too, that I implore you to keep an eye out for, is there is something called the U-Pass program, which is really awesome. Point Park is joining the other institutions of higher learning in the Pittsburgh area, like Pitt and Carlo and Chatham and all them. And we are offering to our students the ability to ride for free on any Pittsburgh Transit Authority bus in the city limits. And there's maps and information that I'm going to send a link to. But essentially, you're paying for this in your student tuition. There's a small amount that you're putting into there. So maximize it. Go and explore the city. Go to the south side. Go to the waterfront and get, some shopping in, or just get off campus for a little bit. So that's definitely nice to have those options. Molly, do you have any recommendations on other ways that students can get to and from campus or anything like that?
Yeah, so I have very secret places that I park throughout surrounding neighborhoods. I'm willing to walk and be a little cold and enjoy the 2 days of sunshine that we get in Pittsburgh, and soldier on through the rain and the cold. But there, it is definitely becoming a much more pedestrian-friendly city. We're dissected, transected by bike lanes everywhere. So, there are plenty of ways for you to kind of park and ride, whether it's from, Millvale or the Allegheny side or somewhere on the Mon side. Both sides are really connected to bike paths, and so we have a lot of students and faculty. We have some faculty members that are daily commuters on their bike from all points in the city. So that happens as well. I have a friend that works for public transit, and so I'm trying to figure out if we can get a little tour on Greg's bus line. He's hilarious, Greg from Dallas, because I think that what's so remarkable about Pittsburgh is our neighborhoods, and so being able to figure out how you as a student can maximize what you do get, which is this UPass option, to be able to see and navigate and work your way around and feel confident that you're able to do that. So yeah, parking is always a challenge. It's expensive. The one thing that is kind of an insider tip that I'll give you is that we try to be really sensitive to those of you who are commuting into campus and the extra expenses that you incur by doing that. So, we will work with you to try and adjust your schedule. I know I've had commuters that have gone to class, from 8 a.m. until whenever, just to have classes only on Tuesday and Thursday or Monday and Wednesday because they'd rather save the money from parking and work more, etc. So our students are really crafty and creative and tough. Many work a lot. I'm sure that a number of you on this call are going to have to work during the time that you're there. We're used to that. So again, it's just articulating what you're working with. We can't work with what we don't know. We're happy to try and help you to create a schedule. I think we've been able to do that even better now that we do have multiple modalities that you can take courses. So you will have options as you move through your time at Point Park to take an online course, or to take a hybrid course, or take a course that you're meeting with your faculty member and your classmates remotely. So all of those are going to be options to you during your time here, and all of those are very much part of students' ability to be able to stay and graduate, and we're here to support you and help to make that schedule work as best as we can for you.
Awesome. This is the last question in the Q&A, and so if anybody else wants to add one, go for it. But as it stands right now, this is going to be our final question that we're going to answer before we just give some final last words. And it's an important question, so I appreciate it being asked. How is Point Park's diversity? There's a lot of ways to answer this, and I know as all of us are advocates in this space. I know Molly, you particularly advocate around campus for more, diversity and exposure. But what I want to talk about very quickly are some of the departments that advocate and promote diversity in programming and education and prevention and stuff like that. So first of all, we have our Office of Compliance and Integrity that oversee a lot of the legal aspects of discrimination, harassment, sex-based crimes, and even with new regulations that are potentially coming in to play this academic year, that office is going to expand even more to looking at body image, body shaming stuff, misconduct online, off campus. So really a good resource right there. We also have our Center for Inclusive Excellence that is tasked to put on different programming and support services throughout the academic year. We also have a lot of really amazing student-run organizations that I highly recommend you look into, seek out, or create for yourself. Two that kind of come to mind right now: Black Student Union. They do some really amazing things around campus and for the communities that they serve. And there's also a student organization that I help advise and everything that's on the rise. A little shameless plug, but the Asian American and Pacific Islanders, AAPI. So there's definitely these different pockets around campus that promote diversity. With an international office, things like that. But Molly, I also want to give you an opportunity maybe to speak more directly to the question and to anything else in that space.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you've landed nicely. We have student groups. I'm the advisor of the Black Student Union, but I think that that tells you also the work that we still need to do, right? So what I'll say is that our student body is unbelievably diverse. And I mean that based on socioeconomic backgrounds. I mean that about race, gender, the gender spectrum that is represented on our campus is really extraordinary. So all of that exists within our student groups. I think the next step for us is for us to start connecting students to opportunities to really make some changes on campus. So I definitely saw that taking shape towards the end of the semester with the Black Student Union. So they have a beautiful space. They're helping other student groups to get additional space so that we can really have a place of prominence where students can feel represented, and that's on Front Street rather than, you know, being some little tucked away place. So it's an exciting time. I think that we're all in higher education because we're so inspired by the students that we serve. And you all push us, and I mean that in the best way possible. And you know, I hope you still keep pushing when you come here. I think it's an important part of college experiences. You know, I loved getting in the mix and making some noise, you know, when I was in college. And I think that it's important, right? This is your experience. If we're not meeting what you need it to be, then we need to do something different. So I do think that Point Park has so many tremendous allies, that there are certainly places that you'll be able to do that. And I'm excited to see what you will contribute to the dialogue, right? Like, this is a big, important moment for you to step out there and speak to what matters to you. And I'm excited to see what that is and hear what that is during our time there. But everybody should feel like they belong. And if you don't, then, you know, please make sure that we let anyone on this call know, and we'll make sure that we get you connected. That doesn't always happen easily, you know. It's you know, I can recall in those first semesters after returning to campus, you know, it wasn't natural. We were all a little bit weirder and, you know, a little bit gun shy to you know, kind of come back to things. So that happens, and we just want to make sure that no one feels lonely or that they're not a part of a community. And so we're happy to make that happen.
Awesome. Thanks, Molly, for expanding on that. And one other thing in this capacity, there is a multicultural center that is, and I think Molly was alluding to it. It's on the second floor of the student center, and it is a really nice space. And we're looking to continue to add to it and provide resources in there and different things to just make it feel homey or productive or safe or whatever it needs to be. So love the question. I love that you're coming into this community with that as a focal point, because it should be for all of us as we you know, tackle things in higher education and society together and collaboratively. So thank you for that. And with that, we've got about 2 minutes left. We're going to be spot on time here. So what I want to do is I want to toss it back to Molly and Cathy to just give any final thoughts or words of wisdom as all of you get ready here in weeks. It's August 1. And just, what is it, 2 weeks to be on campus here for the Foundations for Success program. So Cathy, any final words from you?
Just check your email. Be looking for any more information from me that might be coming your way if I need something from you that I don't have. And we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Molly, how about you?
I say just enjoy the last couple of weeks and relax. You know, this is the whole purpose of this is for you to just start the year with a sense of ease and a sense of confidence. And so, you know, we're going to get there. That's what this is all about. Definitely, the more that you can attend to those couple minor details that are still out there, the better, just so that we're able to spend time in more meaningful ways than chasing things down. So if you can do those sorts of things, We'll take care of the rest. We have some good food. We have some good laughs. I'll take you on a guided tour of the campus, so you're gonna know where all the bodies are, and you're gonna feel really great when you start your classes in a few weeks. So looking forward to it, and looking forward to meeting each of you.
And I just want to say to everybody, first of all, thank you for being here. Don't forget to fill out the survey as you exit. One of the reasons I love working with my friends in CSS and doing these webinars, but one big reason why I do this is because, you know, I am also on this campus as the director of student conduct, and my vision of this department is to support and hear you and to help you, and not to point fingers or make you feel bad about decisions that you've made. I've made bad decisions and I've learned from them, and I want to help you. So please, if you ever need something, don't be afraid to reach out to me. My office is on the 7th floor of the Student Center. I'd love to meet you in person and to support you the same way that the Center for Student Success will. So with that, thank you for being here. 2 weeks until foundations, 27 days until the first day of class. Live it up, and we'll see you on campus soon. Thanks everybody for being here. We love you.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.